right, so we've made a few simple slides. Let's make a group of multiple images nicely lined up. We'll make a triptych. Last time we just did an option click and drag. Let's, and again, there are different ways you can do this. We can do Command C, Command V to copy. So edit, copy. I want the background color. We'll click here for the slide that we want it to come after. Command V or edit paste. And before we go any further, let's go ahead and title this. I'm going to call this Molly Camera, because she's looking at the camera, just something that I can remember. And I titled this, and just let's switch back to that directory. Command R to reload that page, and Molly Camera, the slide deck that I'm working on right now, this one is this one. Because I initiated the making of that slide deck within this directory, remember that, new Google Slides, since I started it within here, it's saved here. But let's click over here and work on it a bit. So I think I'll keep this picture, but let me get rid of this. With that strobing, if I hit backspace, it's just going to delete it, the letter. But if I click on, hit delete, excuse me, let's bring a couple more images. I want to make a triptych, and I want to balance it out. Let's get rid of these lines first. That I put in here earlier. And from here to here, you can see we have, if you can see that scale, I know it's small, it's 10 inches. I want to line 3 images up. So if I make the images 3 inches across, I should fill that pretty nicely. So let's click on here, and we already have our format options. If they're not visible, click here, and lock aspect ratio, and our width, I want 3 inches across so I can have a bit of space in between. There's that. And let's bring in some more pictures now. We can close that up, and here's our shared drive that we've been working with. And let's grab it here. So this is the same thing as when I go over here and go to insert, or click here and go to insert. But with that active, we'll go to format options, change that to 3 inches. Again, the aspect ratio is the same. And let's bring one more picture in, close that up. We'll bring in one more vertical one, the one of her taking the biscuit. Bring that over, click, format options, 3 inches. Okay, they're lined up pretty well now, but we can be a bit more precise. We can do this by eye, which will get us pretty close, or we can also do it in a bit more precise way. If you look right now, that red line occurs. I'm moving the center image up and down and moving it left to right. Okay, right there. Right there, it's centered, okay? It's fighting. All right, and if we take this, drag it down, it's centered also. And if we bring this, we can see it's centered also. So now we can do this by eye, or we can be more precise with it. With these guides, I can place something exactly at a particular place. So right now it's 0.15 inches. And if we pull over here, from here, this is 10 inches. So 0.15 inches off of that is going to be 9.85. Click. Oh. So click here, pop that over. So we have the same space between this and this on each side. This is that, that's that. And you can do this more or less. You can make a grid out of this. Let's modify this. Let's go ahead and take this picture and change it to a width of 2.5 inches. So we shrunk it up a bit more. Click on here, do the same thing, 2.5, 2.5, and let's say we want this to be to start out half an inch over. So that's 0.5. Pull this over, pop it in line, half an inch, and we want this to be half an inch. And again, this is 10 inches, so pop that over 9.5 inches. Click, drag that over. So they're both the same distance. We have a space differential between this and this. We could measure that distance, or the easy way to do it, just click and drag this until we get our red vertical line showing that that this is centered. Or if you look down at the bottom of the images, you can see a blue line appearing showing that we've centered these at this point. We can move the entire group up and down. We can do it one at a time. I'd like to center it on here, though this is positioned great to lay type down. Click and drag through, and now we've selected all three images at once. And pull it down. Wait for our red line to occur. Now the triptych is centered. To view this, we can go to Present, Present from Beginning, and then we can either use arrows here, or I'm going to use them just on my keyboard. So the idea when you make your slide deck is to have images, and that's it. And we're going to do a little more with this.